All right, this is a continuation of lesson 4.4. We're going to talk about reference angles. So if theta is an angle in standard position, the reference angle is the acute angle, we'll call it theta prime, formed by the terminal side of theta and the horizontal axis. So what that means, first of all, if you're in the first quadrant, it's just the same angle. If you're in the second quadrant, the reference angle is actually this angle, the angle that gets you to the x-axis. You find it in the second quadrant by using pi minus theta or 180 minus theta if you're in degrees. In the third quadrant, boom, our reference angle is actually this piece right here. That's theta prime. To get that one, you'd take theta minus pi or theta minus 180. And in the fourth quadrant, our reference angle is actually right here, getting you to 360 degrees. So you take 2 pi minus your angle or 360 minus your angle. Now, why does that help us? Because then we really only have to remember 3 sets of coordinates and the positives or negatives. So let's find a reference angle. 220 degrees. All right, first question is, what quadrant? Well, 220 is in the third quadrant, right? Boom, there's 220. To get my reference angle, I want to find the angle it would make to get right here. So I'm finding how far past 180 it went. 220 minus 180, that is 40 degrees. 40 degrees is my reference angle. Negative 155. All right, well, I went negative 90, negative 155 is somewhere over here. My reference angle here is how far it would take to get to the x-axis there. We're going to take 180 minus 155 in this case. This one's weird because we're trying to figure out how much further we have to go. That is 25 degrees. Our reference angle would be 25 degrees. 5 radians. Well, we have to figure out where 5 radians is. 3 pi over 2 is about 4.7 radians. So that means we are in the fourth quadrant. Boop. So the angle we want will get us to 2 pi. So we take 2 pi minus 5, and we'll just leave it like that. That'll be our reference angle. 13 pi over 3. All right, well, let's see here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. There's my angle. How far to get me to the x-axis? Well, I went a third pi over, so pi over 3 is my reference angle. To use reference angles, evaluating any trig function, determine the value for the associated reference angle. Depending on the quadrant in which the angle lies, add appropriate signs. That's all it is. So if I want the cosine of 4 pi over 3, well, I think to myself, okay, 4 pi over 3. Let's see here. If I start here, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 pi over 3. Okay. I had to go a pi over 3 past. Well, I know the cosine of pi over 3. The cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. If I think all students take calculus, I'm in the t quadrant, so tangent's positive, which means cosine is negative. So the cosine of 4 pi over 3 is negative 1/2. That's what reference angles help us do. Now you can memorize all the numbers. You can logic it out. This is a possibility. So tangent of 210 degrees. First of all, let's think about where's 210 degrees. Let's see here. This is the positive x-axis. This is negative 180, and then 210. So my reference angle would be how far past 180 I went, and I would have gone 30 degrees past 180. Well, I know the tangent of 30 degrees because I've done that several times by this point. Tangent of 30 degrees is square root 3 over 3. All students take calculus. Sine is positive, which means tangent is negative. So the tangent of negative 210 degrees is negative square root 3 over 3. And then cosecant of 11 pi over 4. All right. positive x-axis. Let's see here. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 pi over 4. There's my angle. Well, how far to get to the y, or the x-axis again? That's pi over 4. I know cosecant is related to sine, and the sine of pi over 4 is square root 2 over 2, which means the cosecant of pi over 4 is just square root of 2, because at this point I've done that enough times. All students take calculus. Sine is positive, which means the cosecant is also positive. So the cosecant of 11 pi over 4 is just the square root of 2. Now remember, this is not something you have to be perfect at. It is a tool for you to use if it helps.